Hey guys, super happy to be here once again. And today I'm having the one and only Campbell Simon. He is the IX Trader Show manager for a long period of time. So he's the founder of that community and he taught thousands of traders over the years. That community has driven thousands of people to go to the right path of trading. And this is meant to follow, and I'm honored to have you here today. So, Simon,
Thank
it's great having you.
Yeah,
As I said, um, how are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Very auspicious welcome and introduction. I wish I could put my hands up and say I have actually taught thousands of traders myself, but I have to be entirely honest. I have facilitated the events and
This is because of you. This is because of you, Simon.
yeah, that's right.
This is because of you.
Uh,
You
I
know, it's always easy for traders to you to say, yeah, I'll teach you, or like supreme traders or elite traders, they like to hide. They don't like to expose themselves to the public, especially they don't like to expose their capabilities and so on and so forth, which enables others to learn from those who gain experience, actual experience on the live financial markets. And what you have done over the years, I think it's incredible.
well, that's right, and I think this is the important feature of providing events, whether it's online and in person. Um, they both serve the purpose for traders to access other traders who may not be natural teachers or educators, but just to be able to share experiences and insights. And I think it's more important than ever nowadays for if you're setting out as a trader to look for education. It's a bit of a risky game if you don't know what you're doing. So it helps to have someone show you the ropes. But where do we go? How do we know who is genuine and has actually been there and done it in the trenches, as it were, in the pits? It's incredibly difficult, particularly with things like TikTok and YouTube at our fingertips. The particularly the younger guys, I think, coming through are looking at a lot of the social media and believing that it's a lot easier. And next week I'll be that guy driving the Lamborghini, etc., etc. So what we're doing is trying to offer the events and the training where I go out into the markets and meet people, much like you do, meet some real traders who have got a lot of experience and got something to say, and bring them to the traders through the live shows in London that we do, through the online virtual shows that we do. And hopefully, we're taking the show further afield next year, looking at different cities around the world. But it's just to keep that eye on providing valuable educational formats for people to learn the basics, put them in touch with the right people, even telling people this is the questions you should be asking of your mentor or your course leader. There's thousands of people offering courses, and a lot of them you can probably get
Mhm.
for free. So the real difference between learning, reading a book and getting a textbook thing, and having a mentor, I guess, is someone that can tune into you as a trader, understand what you want to get, because we're all different, and be able to match their experience and provide you with that guidance. So we're trying to fly the flag for traders to steer them towards the more genuine and trustworthy educational partners and the brokers and the platforms out there in the industry.
So this is incredible. So before we'll dive deep into what you have achieved over the years and actually learn more about yourself, more about IX Investor Show, and more of everything. Introduce yourself to the public, to those who do not know who you are.
Oh well, first of all, so it's Simon Campbell, and born and raised in Scotland. My first job out of school was stockbroker, Bill O'Reilly White Stockbrokers in Edinburgh. Now, this was the days before the internet, of course, and we worked in the nominee department downstairs. We were, actually stamping share certificate transfer forms and having the brokers sign off on these forms, send them. This was the exchange of a share sale transaction. We used to have to go to the big safe and fish out the actual share certificates that provide in the lots that they were valued at and attach them to transfer forms. It's unbelievable how far the financial markets have come since 1989, I guess that was. So that was my first introduction to the financial markets before going to university and then coming out working in the Royal Bank of Scotland, seeing the sort of financial side from the bank. And it wasn't long actually before I left to take over, join a small financial training events company in Edinburgh. And we were providing weekly analysis to retail private investors. Um, Quite high net worth. There were a very small population of investors back. This has been about 1998 now. So you just couldn't get analysis on companies. You couldn't find you could buy the Financial Times newspaper. That's about the only source of information there was. So a small growing band of private investors were looking for guidance and education. So we tripped upon doing some seminars that led into doing the first expo event, which we did in the year 1999, 2000. 2000 actually was huge, but there was something of a tech bubble going on at the point because we didn't realize it when we were in it. It was only when it burst and everybody realized that we'd been in such a bubble. But back then it was interesting. The dot-com bubble, as they called it, you started a business and just called it something.com, and there was a few £1 million being waved in your face. Interesting days. So yeah, I've come along. I've always stayed in this area of trader and investor education. Worked with a company called VectorVest, a big US-based company, helped them get started in the UK. Again, that's investment research and education they offer. But it wasn't long before I circled back to my own business again in the 2014, and we set up investingexpos.com, and this is where the brand IX comes from. So we have shows of that. We have the IX Trader Show, the IX Investor Show, and the IX Virtual Shows. As the name suggests, the trader shows relate more to those that are looking for short-term trading guidance and products for day traders and swing traders, Forex, CFDs, that shorter term side of the market. The IX Investor Show tailors education towards more longer term investors, building up a portfolio for their pension, building up a capital and income portfolio. So slightly different sponsors and slightly different speakers in education there. And as we go forward, we want to provide more of this online. We're trying to build more communities around the shows, but it's a fascinating world. It's always changing. It's incredible to see companies like Robinhood and Revolut now offering share trading on the apps. As I say, I remember looking at the share certificates. It seems like only a few years ago, but it's more than just a few. But it'll be interesting to see where we go in the next 10 to 15 years with the markets as well.
Let me ask you this, Simon. So, as I told you previously before we have started the recording, um, I went through your LinkedIn profile, and your statement is on a mission to connect investors and traders with opportunities and mentorship through high impact events. Now, let me ask you this. How do you plan to to connect people, or how do you plan to connect retail traders or traders that might be much more amateur to elite traders or vice versa through a high impact event? I think it's a really complicated mission. But, and if you have some achievements or some conversion rates that it's like above average, I think it's a really extraordinary, um, a really extraordinary thing. Like that fact, I think it's like incredibly powerful. And what I'm asking you is how do you plan an event that gathers traders from all around the world that enables them to learn and absorb as much as they can about trading and to enable them to really follow the path of a successful trading career?
Well, uh, to keep it simple, it's just the formats that we have at these events enable traders to not only sit in a seminar listening to one or two men on the stage telling this is how I made it big. We also offer a sort of a networking event as part of the events. We have the lunchtime. We call it the Traders Working Lunch. And
Hmm.
this was an event that we started with the in-person events, um, real sandwiches, real coffee and wine. Each table has a host, has a mentor, as a host, much like a one of these speed dating events. Every 15 minutes, um, the tables are for 10, only 10 people on table. So it's quite an intimate session where people can get to just say, this is great. I've been reading your books. I've been following your YouTube channel. Tell me, what is the worst thing you've done? Or I've done three trades and they've all lost. But these are questions that as an audience member, or it's particularly for new traders, they'd be too shy to ask in a large environment. They won't put their hands up and ask these in a large seminar environment. I mean, we tend to have we can have sort of 300 people sitting in that seminar room as part of the show. So these smaller, intimate sort of networking events are exactly what you're asking about. How can you empower people to connect with experts? And interestingly, we're now using a new platform for the online show, which allows us to do exactly that same Traders Working Lunch networking tables event, but it's all done online. And it just works really well. So there's a power, the internet and the online shows and the big cities. It's great for people to say, wow, we had 2,000 people there, fantastic. Numbers are great, but actually the value that we find, and particularly from sponsors who take part, the thing that they talk about most is that hour that they sat and they saw maybe 50, 60 people actually that come in these 15-minute sessions and sit down. That's the bit where I think they're having the most value. And that's quite important to be able to offer people the chance to just speak, and not only to the
Let's
expert, to each other.
Mhm. Now let me ask you this. You saw mm, thousands of traders over the years. Now, you might have few traders or few stories that you can't forget or you can dismiss. Now, let's take that conversation onto a path that would enforce traders to not give up. So, or to not give in. Um, now, I would like to ask you this. What is the story that you remember the most? That you saw a trader comes in and went out of something completely different.
Mm, the success stories are fantastic. Um, we do see people coming back year after year to these
Yeah,
events.
but a personal story. Do you remember any personal story that? really fascinates you, that really drove you to a path that you really believe in?
Well, I would say there's many. There's many stories. I say from a personal point of view, it is always rewarding when you see a young person or that's come to the show without any information, and 2 years later they're coming back and they're sharing their story with other traders, or they're sending me an email to say I've just bought my first flat, or I do have a nicer car. There are material benefits, and you can see uh, that setting them on a particular path. And it may not be me that's taught them, but I've curated the events and brought together the speakers, made the
Hmm.
so that is rewarding. There's incredible stories. I mean, some of the bigger traders that I work with, the bigger names. I won't go and name all the names here, but there's some fascinating stories about these traders that have the capacity to um, make very big, heavy leverage trades, shall we say, and most people wouldn't have the be brave enough to do that. But some of the returns that they can generate are absolutely incredible, and it's still not gambling, because when you listen to the way that these professional traders approach the trading day, and when you understand it's not all just about sitting in front of the screen and looking at the charts, it starts with going for a swim in the morning, a cold shower. It's getting their mindset into this place, and not everybody can do this or necessarily wants to do this. This is people that take trading, I think, to a fairly high level, and but I find it fascinating. I'm not one of these people, and I don't think I will be somebody that will take the risk. I've got family commitments and so forth, so you have different risk appetites. But to listen and learn from traders who do take big risks, I admire them. It's particularly when there's an evidence trail of why they are making the decision on the DAX this morning, why they're doing what they're doing. It needs
Let
to be
me
backed up.
let me ask you this. You saw many traders. Some of them were incredibly successful. So I would like to ask you this. Um, what do you I would love to know if they're famous, even it's better. It's even better. So um I would like to know what do you think the strengths and weaknesses are uh, for that a really good trader need to embrace, and the biggest traders that you have saw over your career. Um, what do you notice? What's different? What's different than how they react to the markets than the others?
I
Like,
think they
how do they sharpen their training behavior accordingly?
they all have something in common, which I think is essential for being a very successful trader. I say that because I don't think you need to be extremely good to be successful at trading at a level. These people are fascinate me. Have the ability to be completely self-disciplined and the ability to turn off from other distractions that are going on, and to have consistency, to be able to not allow themselves to become depressed and emotionally feeling like a failure if the trade goes completely the wrong way and they lose a lot of money one day. Um, it's a smaller proportion of people that can wake up the next morning and do it again, and particularly if they've been following good advice and haven't risked too much and lost all their trading account. They have, lost a proportion of it, but they have to get up and do it again and not make the same mistake twice, but not change either. Um, this is difficult, and I find this difficult when I trade because I can feel myself getting drawn into the emotions which start to lead towards gambling, chasing the trade or adding to the position when it's going the wrong way. I mean, they're all classic mistakes. You read them, you hear them, it's being spoken to year after year. So the guys that do this very well, it takes that talent, I think, to have that complete discipline and to be able to get up and go for a walk on the beach, walk the dog, and then come back and reset in the markets because that is
Why do you think
mm,
that attitude enables them to remain consistent and determined when they're trading? Because I think like if you had a really bad week, taking a weekend off,
yeah.
then coming back new, I think you need to be highly, highly, highly uh within your training experience and expertise. So like without it, I don't think that even a weekend off will help you to actually enable yourself to be back clean, sharper, and much better than you were the week before.
I think it's a big problem. People start trading when they have a job. In most circumstances, they already have a job during the day. Start trading at other times of the day, and it's when they make that leap to becoming a full-time trader, a lot of problems can start because you can nothing else to do. So that's your job now. So you trade. So you must sit and you must put the trade on. That's what you do. Whereas it can lead to what's over trading, they call it, and that's sometimes the best traders are the ones that can leave the screens and can stop. I think that's quite an important part, and having a job also provides you with the financial security of being able to pay the bills at the end of the month. Um, until you get to a point where I guess you've got a safety net. If you are relying on trading as your primary source of income, then the emotions that you will see developing are different to someone that's doing it while they know they've got income coming in to the bank at the end of the month. It just affects things if you're looking at it as your number one. So that can be a big transition for people to go from part-time trader, full-time job to full-time trader, no regular other source of income. Um, that can be interesting. Yeah. So it's the emotions are your biggest enemy. Yourself, and I hear it all the time. People wanting to know about uh, how to get the right mindset, how to set out the right treating the right time frames. It all stems back to if you can spend time understanding who you are, what you want to achieve from the trading, how what your weaknesses are. If you know more about yourself, how do you respond when you go into a casino? This will help you understand what you're liable to be like when you're in position of having open trades and the market is going in your direction. What do you do? So understanding these things, understanding yourself is probably the one of the first steps, and just having someone to help you, even just once a week, having a quick call for an hour can really help people to make progress quickly. I've seen people progress quite quickly with the help of someone that's been there, done it. Don't worry, everybody does that. This is normal. You're
Mhm.
making some normal mistakes, and we can help you fix that. So, well, why not take that help? People have driving instructors. In most things in life, we have mentors and teachers, and training is no different. Um, once you learn, I think that everybody settles into their own flavor of trading. Though they prefer to trade a particular product, a particular market, a particular time of day. These things will all reveal themselves to you. I think as you actually get some experience in the markets, and not just the demo traders. Demo trading can provide you with some false signals and false information because you don't really trade the same with real money that you did on a demo account. As everybody knows, we've all made millions of dollars on demo accounts and lost them as well, of course.
So, another question that I would like to ask you is that, based on your experience with the IX Trader Show, I would like to ask you, if I were a new trader, or if I were new to the financial markets, what would you recommend me to do in order to scale myself in a much proper way instead of wasting time trying to figure it out where to find myself? Where would you suggest me to go? Let's hypothetically say that I would like to learn how to trade futures.
Well, first,
From what trader should I start learning? What trader should I follow? Or what institution, what course? How would you recommend me to start, and who would you recommend me to follow?
brokers, the brokers are a great source of information. We were just looking at that broker before we went on air about their whole educational um, campus, as they called it. So the brokers are integral to the whole process of transacting shares. Now, um, whether it's forex or futures or options, so it's in their interest to offer you all the help they can give you. So they're very often the best source of information for leading you to the right educators and the right education. So go to the brokers, but be careful which brokers you are approaching, because not all brokers are equal. This is why we have the FCA in the UK. Compliance and regulation is so important now than it ever has been. We've seen lots of scammers. The financial industry is, right up there in terms of the industries that is populated by online scams, and you want to be looking to work with a broker who is properly regulated in a jurisdiction like the UK or Europe, Australia, and then you can be safe in the knowledge that the information they're going to provide to you, the people that they're going to be recommending to you as educators are they've been vetted by the broker themselves. They're going to be educated to a level themselves to know how to educate you in particular products, whether it's so futures. You look for a broker, search up broker futures. Not all of them offer futures, but here we are. That would be my suggestion to go through the brokers rather than going through, first of all, falling into the pool of the course providers, the particularly people that offer you a system. The way of anything that's called guaranteed or foolproof system. Just be very careful of these. I mean, obviously, come to an IX Trader Show. This is what we try and do. We just want to try and offer people that gateway into dealing with the
Hmm.
professional institutions that have the traders' interests on board. Um, and trading with the traders is the best sort of brokers. Obviously, that want you to succeed. There, there's always been suspicion that some traders will run what they call B books, where they say, oh wow, they bet against, they hedge all the positions of their clients, very sophisticated technology. Um, I'm not sure there's ever any real proof of that, but stay within the confines of the big boys that are regulated. Um, I don't think you'll go far wrong, and they will open up doors to all sorts of educators and people. The brokers use education as a way to invite people into their network. They're always producing courses. They've got online webinars and meetups happening, and it's very easy to get involved with all that. So great source of information. 99% of it will be funded by the brokers, so it's free, and you shouldn't really have to pay too much for your education. But yeah, that would be my advice to someone that's coming in.
Hmm. Well, one last question before we go. IX trader in 5 years from now, where do you plan it to be?
We'll be in London. I would love to see editions of the Axe Trader Show, which is the real in-person show. I would love to see editions of it in Dubai and New York, Sydney, the Philippines, Tel Aviv, perhaps anywhere and everywhere where I think the format of a mid-range trader event where we're connecting the educators and the mentors in an environment where people feel comfortable to share their story, learn off the other traders that are there. It's a fantastic day. We're mimicking it online. We have a virtual version of it as well, which will be running every sort of 2 months. Um, but I don't think we can quite match the power of the online event in terms of people feeling that they're building a relationship. There's a trust. You're looking into the eyes of the person that you're talking to, and when it's financial, that's the most important. So growing, scaling up the events, not just in the UK, but obviously other jurisdictions. That is my goal, and it would be great to see and meet all the traders from different parts of the world. It's fundamentally the same challenges that traders face across the world. Different markets and different products, admittedly different parts, but I think the same challenges face them elsewhere. So look out, we're coming to a town near you, as they say.
Super, 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 Simon. So, first of all, it was a pleasure having you here on our show, the Trade Pod. By the way, to everything that is listening, I would highly suggest to go over ixtrader.com, visit, look over, follow the events. I promise you, after so many episodes that we have recorded, I think more than 50 for the past 6 months. And I know people that are involved within that industry. IX Trader is a go-to guy. So
Thank you for
thank you, Simon, for your participation. It was an honor to have you here. You're a true legend, and
that.
I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. And listen, good luck to you as well with the trade pod. What an excellent format you've created. I've looked at
Thanks.
all the speakers there, and I'll be inviting some of them to the Irish Trader Show as well. So great to meet up with you and to work with you. I hope we can continue.
You can invite me as well.
Will do. Your invites in the. Okay.
All right, mate. Thank
Right.
you for your participation. It was brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Bye bye.